So the question is, how do you have a good conversation with great stories, and how do I know my stories? Finding your set stories, my trick to it is I think of the worst moments of my life. They are my best stories. So I think about the time when I nearly had to have my leg amputated. That's a really good story. I think about the time when somebody cheated on me. That's a good story. The time when I almost had a threesome but then didn't and had like the worst night of my life. That's a good story. The thing that makes a good story is making somebody laugh because it triggers oxytocin. And so you can measure how good your conversations are by how often somebody laughs when you tell a story. So I will tweak my stories until they are the funniest they can possibly be. And usually that involves telling the worst moment. So how many of you guys have heard my shark story? Do you guys know my shark story? It's my favorite story to tell. Of all my stories, the shark story is probably the least terrible, but it's still pretty bad. So me and my friend were in Australia, and we spent the entire trip talking about what it means to be alpha. And we were talking about, like, what is an alpha male? Like, what does it mean to do this? And we were talking about how human beings are the most alpha on the planet, right? Like every other species maybe hangs around in groups of hundreds. Humans are in millions. We're like, we're gonna have 1 million people, and we are alpha, and all you animals can go out the way. So we were on this entire kick about what it means to be alpha. And we decided that alpha male humans are the alpha. It doesn't matter where you are, we're always alpha. And then as we were talking about this, my girlfriend at the time showed us that there was an opportunity to go cage diving with sharks, but you're not in a cage. So like you're in the cage with them. So you're just free swimming with sand tiger sharks, which if you don't know what a sand tiger shark is, they're the really big 16 feet or 14 feet sharks with the craggly teeth, and they look really scary. And so, my girlfriend was like, if you're so alpha, you two, why don't you go swim with sand tiger sharks? And we're like, well, we will, because we're alpha. And so we turn up at this aquarium, and it's basically, you get the aquarium, you get the big tank, and everyone's like looking inside, but the people go in the tank. That's the idea. So other humans can watch you swimming with sharks. And it sounds like a great idea. So we're going there, and me and my friend look at each other, and we're like, listen, you gotta remember what it takes to be alpha. Does everyone know what to do when a shark attacks you? Anyone raise their hand, tell me the story? Go for it. Punch it in the nose, that's exactly it. So me and my friend standing next to each other, and we're like, listen, here's what we're gonna do. If a shark comes up to us in the face, look at it, punch it in the nose, everyone knows how to handle it. Not worried. So we get up and we get our scuba gear on, and we're all sitting there, and we're like, all right, what are we gonna do? Shark has in the face, punch it in the nose, got it. And so we're like confirming that we are ready for this. So we go into the tank, and as we're in the tank, we're standing with the waters up to here, and as we're about to go in, the guide says, what is the most dangerous animal in the tank? And me and my friend look at each other, nod, and go, us. And she's like, no. Also not the sharks. The dangerous thing is the sea turtle. And we're like, what? And they're like, sea turtles swim at 60 miles an hour and weigh half a ton. They also, while being somewhat dexterous, don't really consider you in their path. You need to know where the sea turtle is at all times, because the sea turtle might accidentally bump into your head. And if it does, you will die. So do not misplace the sea turtle. So that was the last thing we heard before putting on the scuba mask and going in the water. So we're already like, sea turtle? What? We weren't ready. How do you stop a sea turtle? You can't punch it in the nose. We're freaking out because we don't have our alpha solution. Now, they also tell us, now we can't speak, but they tell us there is a red line in the tank. Do not cross the red line. Here's why. They have trained the sharks to eat, and the sharks eat on the other side of the red line. If you cross the red line, you are food. And if you do not cross the red line, you are a swimmer, and it's okay. So do not cross the red line. Got it. So we now go in the tank, and there's about 12 sharks swimming around, and a sea turtle. Just freaking fast thing. It's really scary. And so we go into the tank, and we're sitting there, and I learn one thing about sharks. If there was one word that describes sharks, what would you use to describe a shark? What word would you use?
Scary.
Scary.
Curious.
Vicious. Fast. All these words are what you would think. I know none of you have swum with sharks, because anyone who's swum with sharks uses one word: sneaky. Sharks are sneaky. We're taught as human beings that live above water that when a shark's coming, you can hear a sound. What's the sound you hear when a shark's coming? Dun, 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 dun. In the real world, that doesn't exist. Now, I know it sounds strange, but they're very quiet, and you can't hear them. Also, sharks are masters of 360-degree travel. What that means is, if I'm looking at you, the shark will do this. Because They know you can't see out the back of, of your head. They're remarkably accurate about where your eyes are. And they watch for what you look at, and they hunt as a pack. So one shark will do this in front of you and like eyeball you, and you're like, but then this shark comes this way and will get within 6 inches of your head and look at you as it goes by you. And it's the freakiest thing. And they'll come up like between your, they're like, ha! And it's like a game. They're like, we're like ninja sharks, and we're gonna sneak past you. And this whole time, we're like, this is quite unnerving. Like they definitely could eat you if they wanted to, right? Like you're not used to like constantly checking from where the freaking sneaky sharks are coming from. So, but it's a great experience. We're enjoying it. And these things are like 12 to 14 feet long, except one. One was clearly 16 foot. It was longer than all the others, and it stayed right in front of us the whole time. This was not a sneaky shark. This was an angry shark. And this shark just swam in a circle on the other side of the line. And every time it went by, it looked at us, never stopped. It was just the whole time, just looking straight at us, circling. It was almost saying, come pet me on this side of the line. And I knew, and the shark knew, and my buddy knew, that it just wanted to do one thing, trick us into crossing the frickin' line so it could eat us. And we all knew this is what was going on. But we looked at each other and we're like, got it. So we're enjoying watching all the sharks, and then the whistle blows, it's time to leave. So we're all about to go. Important point, we're balancing on rocks. And these rocks are about 20 feet up into the tank. Because there's like the bottom of the aquarium, but we were hanging about in the middle, right? Because we're in water, right? So you can float. So we're at about 20 feet standing on rocks. And underwater rocks are slippery, in case you don't know that. They're not like regular rocks on land. They're covered in algae, and they are basically slime rocks. So it's hard to balance on them. So the whistle goes, everyone leaves. Me and my friend are at the back. We're about to leave, and this shark starts coming straight towards us. And so we're about to leave, and then you ever have that thing where someone starts to start a fight with you, and they're like, huh, and then you're like, you're not worth it. And they're like, walk away then, loser. I got this feeling that this shark was like, oh, now I'm coming to see you, now you're walking away, what a chicken, right? Like, I felt, and I looked at my friend, and I knew my friend felt the same thing, so we're like, no, stand our ground. We're alpha. And so we put our feet down, and we look at the shark in our eyes, and we're like, alpha. Look at each other, alpha. And this shark just comes straight at us, slowly. And he's not moving, his eyes are looking straight at us, comes straight at us. And he gets probably about the distance we are. And then he opens his mouth just slowly, and me and him, we know what to do, right? Punch it on the nose. And so we're looking at it, and the shark's coming towards us, and the shark goes, ugh, and coughs at us. It's like water and bloody food like comes at us. And we both go, ah, and collapse, slide off the rock, drop 20 feet to the bottom of the freaking shark tank. Everyone's looking at us like, oh my God, what happened? We are crapping ourselves, panicking because we've got the water blowing in the bubbles and everything. We like swim, get out of the shark tank, come out. Me and my friend take the thing off, look at each other and go, we are not alpha. Not alpha at all. No, sharks are alpha, we are not alpha. And I would never ever think of myself as alpha in that way ever again, because that shark scared the crap out of me by coughing. So I was like, nope, not gonna do it. It's a 16-foot shark, it's got a lot of teeth, not gonna punch it in the nose, ain't gonna happen. The shark understands he's gonna swim up over you and eat your freaking fist. Don't do it, sharks are scary. So this was a moment that was one of my most awkward, like my girlfriend laughed at me because she didn't do it. She sat watching in the fish tank. She's like, you failed, you guys are losers, like you're scared of the shark. And was like, yeah, we are scared of sharks now. I went into the shark tank, not scared of sharks, now freaking scared of sharks, just so everyone knows. It was the one thing I learned from that experience, is sharks are scary. You don't need to mess with sharks. But that bad story became a good story because I think about the points where people laugh, and I focus on telling those elements. The whole goal of the story is to make the other person laugh. We know that oxytocin triggers attraction, and oxytocin is generated during laughter. The entire goal is, can I make the other person laugh? If I can, then I've won. If you think about the story I just told, most of you guys were listening. I don't think anybody fell asleep in the middle of it. And at the end of the story, I'm not showing how cool, funny, smart, or amazing I am. I'm just sharing a funny story. I'm not amazing. I'm not a badass fighter that karate chopped the shark. Like, I go into the story not scared of sharks. Now I have a phobia about sharks, right? Like, like all my fears of sharks when I was a kid swimming in the swimming pool are real. Like, they are scary as hell. So, worst part of your life is your best story.